Today's editorial, My Country, My Rules, discusses international arbitration awards for three cases. First one is Antriksh Devas case. The second one is Vodafone Group versus Government of India case. And the third one is Tata Docomo case. First, coming to Antriksh Devas case. Antriksh is a government-owned corporation and it is an ISRO's arm. And Devas is Bangalore-based company known as Devas Multimedia Private Limited. The dispute between these two companies was related to cancelling of a space satellite contract between the two. To redress its grievances, these companies moved to International Chamber of Commerce Tribunal, where International Chamber of Commerce Tribunal found unanimously that Antriksh Antriksh cancellation of contract was unlawful. And the second case, Vodafone Group versus Government of India, the parties reached to Permanent Court of Arbitration in Hague, that is in Netherlands. Permanent Court of Arbitration in Hague gave verdict in the support of Vodafone. The case was related to retrospective taxation. The Permanent Court of Arbitration said that to enforce the tax demand would be a violation of India's international law obligation because these taxes were enforced retrospectively. And the third case, that is Tata Docomo, went to London Court of International Arbitration, a world's leading arbitration institution, and the verdict went in the favor of Docomo, entity Docomo. These three international arbitration verdicts and challenging these international arbitration verdicts are in no way good for investor friendly atmosphere of country. The editorial begins with this sentence. When the Andhra Pradesh government decided to review wind and solar power purchase agreements last year, the central government was quick to criticize the decision and called it unfortunate. Presently, per unit cost of power from wind and solar has come down drastically, and that is why Andhra Pradesh government decided to review wind and solar power purchase agreement made in the past. This decision was criticized by the central government on the ground that it is not investor friendly. Union Minister of Power R.K. Singh, flashing his government's investor friendly credential, had said that people come and invest in this country with a faith that any contract they sign will be honored. If you start abrogating contracts, then people will stop coming and invest. And the reason cited for criticizing the state government was that it is against investor friendly credentials India has, and we must honor the contract signed between the two parties. Yet for all of this, the central government's own record in honoring arbitration awards and contracts has been less than exemplary. But the central government is not following what it is talking to state governments. And we have various examples to contradict central governments and the way central government is handling international arbitration awards show that it is not leading by example. The Antriksh Devas case is a classic instance of this. On Tuesday, the Supreme Court stayed the execution of an arbitral award against ISRO's commercial arm, Antriksh Corporation, to pay $1.2 billion in compensation to Devas after both the Attorney General and Solicitor General appearing for Antriksh requested the court to keep the award in abeyance, delaying the payment further. The International Court of Arbitration had decided the case in favor of Devas in 2015, but the government has since dragged the matter. In fact, International Chamber of Commerce Tribunal in 2015 had awarded the verdict in favor of Devas, and $1.2 billion was to be given as compensation by Antriksh. But recently, Supreme Court has stayed the payment. Now editorial gives another example. Devas is not the only case where the government seems to be backtracking on decisions of international arbitration. Earlier this week, Finance Secretary Ajay Bhushan Pandey had remarked that the government had time till December to appeal against the verdict of the international panel that had a scrapped levy of rupees 22,100 crore tax on Vodafone Group using a retrospective law. Another example with us is that of Vodafone Group and Government of India. The case was with Permanent Court of Arbitration in Hague, Netherlands. Vodafone Group won against the Indian government relating to retrospective taxation. The Permanent Court of Arbitration in Hague said that to enforce the tax demand would be a violation of India's international law obligation, and the appeal against the verdict can be made within 90 days. And so Finance Secretary Ajay Bhushan Pandey has said that they have time till December to appeal against the verdict. Whether they will go for the appeal or not, it is another matter. While the government has not made its decision whether it would appeal the case or not, it is important to remember that the former Finance Minister Arun Jaitley, in the first instant of this government, had assured investors that the government will honor arbitration awards in retrospective tax cases. In 2014-15, when Arun Jaitley was Finance Minister, he had said that he will consider retrospective tax cases, that he will honor arbitration awards in retrospective tax cases. While the government may not have much of cash outgo as a result of the Vodafone award, just rupees 75 crore has to be paid. The reason why it wants to challenge the award is that if Cairn Energy wins its arbitration award, the government will have to shell out close to rupees 10,500 crore in damages. The similar case exists with Cairn Energy, and if India is accepting Vodafone arbitration award, it will have to similarly accept Cairn Energy arbitration award. Though the Indian law states that arbitration awards are only to be challenged rarely and on very limited grounds like fraud, the government has gone ahead and challenged most awards that go against it. We have seen three instances: first of Antrish Deva's case, second of Vodafone Group and Government of India, and the third of Tata Docomo case. In all these three cases, government has challenged international arbitration awards. Although, as per Indian law, arbitration awards are only to be challenged rarely. We are seeing here it is a routine. In fact, the government even flexed its muscle in the Tata Docomo case where it was not even a party. Despite the arbitration court asking Tatas to pay Docomo damages based on a contract they had signed and the Tatas were happy to honor the award, the government contended that since the original Tata Docomo contract was not permitted under Indian law, the damages could be paid. Tata Docomo case was heard by London Court of International Arbitration, a world's leading arbitration institution, and the verdict went in the favor of Docomo. That all of this should happen just around the time the Prime Minister hopes to woo foreign investors and convince them of India's investor-friendly policy regime makes it clear investing in India is still a big risk. In one hand, Prime Minister is wooing foreign investors by arguing that a, India is an investor-friendly destination, and on the other hand, challenging these international arbitrary awards gives another signal. So we must think over it, and we should make India an investor-friendly destination and should not challenge every international arbitration award that is not in our favor. That's all for today. Thanks for listening.